We good to start?
I'm ready to
DM.
start.
Well, whatever.
Ralgo,
Sadness.
Me!
Sadness.
what do you remember of last session?
Last session we started with initiative of a spooky, scary necrotic undead thing that was formed from the dead bodies of a bunch of different animals like lions and snakes and tigers and bears. Oh my! We quickly messed it up, but it also messed us up with some breathing attacks. The acid breath was real bad. It turned into goop after we killed it with weird red stone that we think is definitely some kind of magic stone that seems to attract the necrotic energies, but isn't actually a necrotic energy thing, I don't think. We burned but remains, but they seem to be like ever burning and causing some poisonous gas, and we're like, they'll burn itself out eventually. We don't want to worry about this weird spooky death thing. So we left it, continued to go towards the lake, and where the underground structure that we were planning on going into. We reached the lake with the good glowing gem of some powerful good stored within it. And Hephe was like, you know what? It would be a really good idea to like just control water and sidestep all this other like important quest stuff to just get the reward. So we tried doing that, and we came up with plans to distract the horde of shark-like eel things that can breach water. We gathered the magic items onto Hephe, like casted haste on him and a couple other things with Asri on his back. We charged the water, and within 18 seconds or so, Hephe was promptly murdered. And Asri barely survived by jumping onto the roof of the cave with some web, ran over back to the shore, and that's where we ended session, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Just a little flavor.
Fluke was still stabbing water, so some of us do not even know yet.
Yeah, the go ahead, Sam.
No, I was just gonna ask. I know that Asri slumped onto the ground and had tears streaming out the side of her eyes. So you guys are aware something's happened, because that and porcelain was like endlessly firebolting like one spot. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Decorm and Fluke had noticed immediately. I imagine that after a bit they also realized that something's gone wrong. And then, especially when Porcelain went to go towards Azrael, they would have noticed. But before any of that, Hephe,
Yeah?
as you are underwater, drowning, you feel the sharks biting and tearing at you until suddenly it all stops, and you're consumed by this void, and the pain's gone, which is nice, but you're fairly sure you're dead, and that's less nice. Until suddenly you wake up again.
All right.
You look around you, and you have your you have your armor and everything you are carrying, and you have the empty veil now of Pool of Health. And it takes you moments. As you wake up, you're not quite sure how long it's been. It could have been like a very long time until you got up back again.
And you said the vial was empty?
The vial's empty.
That's not good.
And as you start kind of trying to get up, you feel this enormous pain on your legs, and as you look, you notice that even though to you it feels like your body is complete and you can still move it, you notice that the parts that the sharks bit off and ate are still gone. And it isn't bleeding or anything, but it's just like gone, some parts of your body everywhere.
So I'm like Sir Stumpy.
I don't know what that is.
Stumpy
something
just
more
means
like
like
living
stumps
with
instead of
Swiss.
limbs.
It's but a scratch.
Oh my god, yes! It's just a
Basically.
flesh wound. I'll gnaw your bloody legs off.
And as you look around, your surrounding area is, well, simply put, very depressing. The ground around you is this large, open, gravelly area, and you think like far in the distance, you notice like it is mountain range. And as you kind of start turning around, you notice that on the other side there is a little bit more. You see like some forests, but even those seem gray. And very close to you, you notice a tower, an old, partially collapsed tower. And in the front of it, there is a skeleton. Oh, it was suddenly an echo, but you see this skeleton chained to the tower. And
What kind of skeleton is it?
make a perception check.
Go gadget. Oh, that's the wrong one. Go gadget. Proper character sheet.
Oh, right, yeah. Wrong character, though.
New character, who this?
Yeah.
I clicked it on the right
Yeah.
character sheet.
Yeah, but it's as that you need to click.
Galrok, yeah. Now
I
it says,
admit, every time I roll, I always do it under Clow, because you have to change it. It's so annoying.
No, we'll go with 24. As you approach it, it's a difficult walk for you. As long as you're not paying attention as to your own body, you can walk normally. But as soon as you look and you see that just part of your knee is missing, suddenly like that leg starts limping.
so if we just ignore the problem, there is no problem. Got it.
Basically. And oh, actually, no, we'll get to that later.
All right.
As you come to the skeleton, you notice it is seems to be a dwarven skeleton. And as you approach it, it starts speaking.
Oh, that okay.
As
What's it say?
As it says, "Welcome, new one."
Hello. Where am I?
The skeleton, it hasn't been moving at all as it spoke. You just like hear the voice coming from the skeleton, as it were. And it remains silent for a moment, and then you hear the voice again as it says, "I'm not sure. I've been calling it the in-between, as we feel not quite dead, but we're definitely not alive."
Oh, all right. Can I do a religion check to see if that makes sense? Like I'm kind of like in between death and life right now, or another kind of check.
I'd say for you, make a wisdom check.
Great wisdom. I can
Because
do
it's
that.
less about direct knowledge and more on how it kind of feels to you, as it were.
The 12.
To you, it feels, how to best put it, you kind of feel trapped, as it were. And you feel like it's less about being in between life and death and more like you should have died, but then something forced you to appear here instead.
Oh, all right. I mean, I guess that makes sense. It does feel like I'm kind of trapped here, but I'm not sure if it's in between life or death, or if I'm just dead and moved somewhere else instead of where I should be. But I mean, you've been here a lot longer than I have. It seems. I mean, I don't know. I just got here. How long have you been here for?
You hear kind of like a sniffle coming from the skeleton. As you might imagine, it's difficult to tell time here, but I've been here the longest.
Oh.
And as being here the longest, there's a couple of rules, as it were, I've come to understand here. I'd like
Alright,
to-
are these your rules, or are these just like rules of whatever like made us get trapped?
Rules that will help you survive.
I mean, if we're not alive, do I need to survive?
Let me explain. And he pulls, and the change. The skeleton now moves for the first time, and he pulls
you
one
can
of his
move.
arms, and the chain that is stuck to the tower, as it were, immediately gives, as if it just has been rusted for like hundreds of years, and it immediately breaks. But then, as he gets a little bit further, you notice that around the same chain is greenish energy forms, also forming a chain that still stucks him to the ground itself, less so to the tower, but more to the ground.
Okay.
And he says, he uses his arm and kind of points to the mountains surrounding you. And as he does so, it feels to you like your vision kind of expands. It's less in a vision type, but more. You know that in front of you is the tower, and you saw in the distance also a forest. But as he points, you kind of can see through all that, and you can kind of see the whole plane as a whole, surrounded by this large mountain range. Someone just roll dice? Or... Okay. And... Well, mountain range. And as you do so, you notice that beyond that mountain range, there's just this...
Ooh.
What was that? What's
Some
happening?
kind of weird glitch.
Beyond this mountain range, you notice that there's just this abyss, as it were. And
Okay.
as your vision returns to normal and you see again, like, just regular, the skeleton is back into its old position. And he says, stay away from the mountains is probably the simplest rule.
All right. What will happen if I go to the mountains exactly?
Creatures come from there. They are destructive. The more important is, whenever you meet something, whether it be someone like you, or maybe something you would not normally recognize as a person, speak to it. And if it doesn't speak back, prepare to fight or prepare to run. Similarly, if someone speaks to you, always talk back.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm pretty friendly. I think I can do that.
Lastly, though, with the situation we're in, frustration and anger are understandable. You can never kill someone.
Oh well, I
And
mean, I never want to kill anyone to begin with, so that's okay with me.
he, no, he wouldn't. That's good to hear, but just to be sure, and the skeleton starts moving again, and you see now that though he has this 4 chains to him, only the one of them lights up with this greenish energy, and the rest just immediately break. And he says, every time you take a life here, one of these will appear. Once there are 4, there is no way for you to go anywhere anymore.
Oh, that sounds bad. I'll make sure not to kill anyone then. I mean, I don't think I've actually killed anyone before, so that's probably a good thing.
That's good.
I mean, well, I've killed like creatures and things. Is it not okay to kill creatures, or just not okay to kill people?
If it doesn't answer you, you can kill it.
Oh,
Though
okay.
it gets tricky if someone refuses to talk, but then gets killed. Like, you could, for example, not talk. You would still count as a murder, but you would still, but someone else would not know.
I mean, can I defend myself if someone attacks me? Like what if I talk to someone and they don't talk back? Can I just keep walking away from him, and as long as he don't mess with me, everything's fine?
Yes, strife is not forbidden, just that final blow.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Question: since you've been here so long, I had something really important to me, and I don't seem to have it anymore. Any ideas on what it could have happened to it?
Was it an object or something alive?
A little bit of both.
Yes.
In that case, it must not have died.
Oh wow, that is a weight off of my shoulders. I'm so happy. I could kiss you, but I don't want to kiss a skeleton. Is that rude?
I understand.
Oh god, I miss him already.
So is there any way to like get out of here?
He falls silent again, this time a little bit longer than the last time. There is. I do not know how. But I have seen people come in and go out.
All right, and you don't know how, but like, do you know which way they go when they go out of here?
There's a town nearby. Or it looks like a town. Not sure where you're from, so I don't know. Never mind. It's a
I'm from
group
the
of
Lost
people live
Vaults.
nearby. That's literally says nothing to him. Let me quickly check. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, that's a thing that you'd have to note. Make a wisdom check again.
Okay, making a wisdom check again. Boop. 17.
At 17, I'm gonna say you have you haven't tried casting any spells yet,
No, I was gonna get to that.
but you do feel like you are disconnected, as it were, from pool of health.
Okay, so probably my powers are gone too, but I won't know that until I actually try.
Um, So I didn't get to write a couple things down for my notes, so I need to think of a moment how he would bring this.
Okay.
Unless there's something Hephe you want to add, because in that case we can do that first.
My thing was gonna be once if he had a response to just how to get out there, I probably want to start going that way.
All right. Yeah, he definitely would point out there's a settlement nearby. There's also probably the furthest point away from here, a castle, as it were. There's a man who lives there who claims he's the one who decides who leaves and who enters. But the ones who I've seen leave, they don't go by his permission. He has never given anyone permission to leave. But he claims that if he gives you permission, you can.
Has he ever like stopped anyone? Like if they went somebody else and asked like, "Hey, can I leave?" and they said no, does he just let him like continue to be about, or does he like hold him up and prevent him from like going at all?
He says no. Sometimes people get violent. And then usually creatures appear. I'm not sure if he can genuinely give permission to leave or enter, but he definitely has some form of control over this realm.
Alright, so like there's no harm talking to him then and just asking him. If he says no, well then I can just keep trying on my own way, just as long as I don't get rude and violent with him?
Yes.
Oh, alright, well that seems reasonable. I really appreciate it. I mean, I see that you got that green chain stuck to you, and it sounds like you got that because you killed someone. That's pretty bad, but I mean, you've been just so helpful to me. I really appreciate it. Is there any way that I could like maybe free you from that? Is that a curse, some kind of magic? Because I might be able to dispel the magic or remove that curse. If that's what it is.
I don't think I can be freed from this place, but there's one. Who I believe should be freed, but likely won't. Some time ago, a great spirit of fire appeared in this realm, and I believe he should be freed.
Why do you think he should be freed? Right now, there's some evil fire spirits going on. Is he a bad fire spirit, or is he a good fire spirit?
And when before he came here, and he pulls again on the chain, and you see the green again, I was a different person, and he taught me how to understand others.
Okay.
They believe they call him the Flame of Revival.
Oh, well, that sounds like a good name.
But as I said, once I don't think he will leave. Just for once he got here, he saw what people are stuck with, and is now on a quest, as it were, to help them.
Oh,
And that's lovely and well meant, but I believe he has greater responsibilities.
oh, okay. And what if you show me where the castle is, you point in the direction. I mean, what about the fire spirit, the spirit of revival? You said where's he at?
If you get to the settlement, through the forest, he lives in the mountains. Will likely be dangerous.
I mean, what happens if I die? Do I just wake back up somewhere around here? Like, I mean, it's dangerous, but
Yeah.
like...
You turn into the creatures. You go silent. You won't speak. Your consciousness, as it were, is removed. Goes somewhere else. But your body stays here. And grows violenter, more and more violent.
Oh, that's bad. I don't like that. That sounds real bad. Can we sleep here? Or are we just like always awake?
The skeleton, its head moves up towards the sky, and as you follow it, you notice that there isn't even really a sky. It's almost like someone just put like a gray sheet over it. And you notice like it does feel like there is like a dim sunlight, as it were, but there nowhere in the sky is there any light source to see. And he says, some have trouble sleeping, but you can.
Oh, all right. That's good. Well then, if you don't mind, I think I'll just just rest right here, take a nice sleep. Hopefully I'll wake up all refreshed, and I'll try to get rid of whatever's holding you here. I mean, you've just been so helpful. I want to see if I can help you out.
You hear another chuckle coming from him.
What's funny?
It's only a few years ago. No, that's even some time ago. I would. The description of helpful seems strange to me. Let me put it like that.
Oh, I mean, well, I just got here, so I mean, helpful still means helpful to me. So I mean, maybe I can bring back some normalcy to you.
That's be appreciated, I guess.
Woohoo! And then I guess I'll start getting comfortable, and then probably have a little bit more, just small talk and whatnot, and then try to drift off to sleep.
Oh, we're gonna go to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to see if I can recover my spell slots, so that way I don't use my last 3rd level spell to fix him, if that's even possible.
When you wake up again from your rest, the tower and everything is gone, and you're just in this empty gravel field.
Oh, F. Do I recover? Do I gain the benefits of a long rest?
You gain the benefits of a long rest, but you currently do not have access to any of your spell slots.
Do I recover the spell slots?
Yes, but you can't use them.
Which I wouldn't know yet, because I wouldn't have tried to use it yet. Which I would now try to use to cast Sending on the dude. So I'm gonna try to use Sending. I woke up and you were gone. Where are you? I still want to help you.
You know that while casting the spell that it doesn't work.
Okay. That's no good. I guess I'm just gonna have to walk around and try to figure out where that castle is. I start to look around if I can figure out where the castle is and start heading that way.
You can't see the castle, but you can see you're kind of in the center, like you're on the south end and then kind of more in the center area as it were. And to the left of you, you see this large grey forest, and kind of in the center, like the true center of the circle as it were, you see a small settlement. And from his descriptions, you know that the castle is on the far northern end of the area.
Okay, then I guess I'll start heading towards the settlement, since the settlement's on the way to the castle, right?
Yeah. Then, with that, we can go back to the material plane.
Back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity.
God bless the milk cow. Asri, after a couple moments of letting the tears run down her face, Because on our plane of existence, he dismounted everything except for his armor, his shield, and pool of health. Before he jumped in the water, so he could carry everything. I was gonna go over there and grab the amulet of non-detection and throw it to Fluke, and not really say anything.
Wait, so he did take Pool of Health with him?
I mean,
he took the veil of Pool of Health with him, but Pool of Health, once Hephe died, Hephe disappeared, but since Pool of Health is still alive, she remained in the water and is now basically part of this lake.
Oh.
But you wouldn't necessarily know that in character.
Yeah, so in character you would not know the difference if that happened or if Pool of Health just went with Hephe.
Yep. After Azray throws that towards Fluke, no one's necessarily asked any questions or said anything yet, I'm assuming?
Decorm is about to walk up and ask, what happened?
There were too many sharks.
And?
Hephe disappeared. I'm assuming he died, and like that dwarf said, he just was gone.
And?
And I came back to shore?
I'm gonna turn around and look at the lake. Can I spot? What do I see? Let me phrase it like that.
Once you left the sharks that you previously were distracting are now all kind of converging near the middle. It seems like that now that they know that you're interested in the crystal, a lot of the swarm at large is kind of conveying there, and you see kind of the last remains of this red cloud of blood in the water kind of starts fading as it were.
Decorm is just gonna roar very, very loudly, grab his hammer, and start smashing on the floor there, while screaming a lot of profanities that I won't scream on Scat stream.
Fair.
And after a couple of minutes, he will turn around to Azray. How could you let it happen?
Decorm!
What?
If there's any blame going to be going around, we're all as responsible as she is.
Flip your echoing baffle pretty bad. Or maybe it's...
I
think it was Flip, or maybe it's Teak.
I mean, that's probably... We're still in the same area, so...
Okay, yeah.
Mute while she talks.
Oh, I was doing my part. She didn't do hers.
Yes, she did.
What did you do?
Everything.
I was ritual casting the spell on his back, remember?
Everything that he had planned for her to do. Everything he had asked for her to do.
I even at one
And
point
now he's
tried to
dead.
get myself between him and the sharks.
It was a bad plan, you were right.
Oh, thank you. That helps. Now what?
We find a way to turn that off, and
where's that water of his?
He took it with
he
him.
had it with him.
Isn't she supposed to help? That's the whole thing, right? To
We
make
would-
not this happen.
We were here to help her.
We had to get her stronger in order to do anything, remember? Azri's going to take a drink of her flask and then say, We need to get this place turned off and that curse broken so Hephe doesn't spend the rest of forever down here.
What curse?
The one that keeps the spirits in the cave.
You know, the asshole dwarves.
Hephe is gonna turn in one of those things.
He already is.
Then where is he?
I suddenly realized
Actually,
that's an idea.
yeah, like, after he
start
sits down and
Hephe!
tries seeing if she can, like, yeah, she's just gonna start screaming for him, like, see if she can connect. Like, she sits down amongst all of his stuff, like, staring at the lake.
Make, I guess, a charisma check.
Everybody?
Can I argue wisdom?
Anyone who's screaming.
Oh boy. Well, here goes nothing. Oh, that's not half bad.
Oh, 12 wasn't gonna do. Ah, damn.
None of the spirits seem to react at all. I'd say for porcelain, you do notice a couple of the spirits kind of looking in your direction, as it were. But
I go to them.
in the end, they kind of like disappear again, and it's kind of, they kind of feel more like what's the English word? They're kind of just staring at like what's
The scene.
What's the scene? Yeah.
The commotion.
They're rubbernecking.
I think that's the word I was looking for.
So where is he?
Azri's been trying to use silent speech this whole time, but with an 12 in charisma, I'm assuming nothing actually happens. So she says, "I don't know this place. I don't even know I didn't even know I could connect with ghosts or whatever demi-plane these people are on, until Hephe coerced me into talked me into being able to try, and then, well, it worked."
Well, he's not here anymore, so we can't assume it will happen again.
You're not wrong.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pack up our stuff. Esre, do you need to rest?
I wouldn't
Are
mind
you
a small one.
hurt?
I have 6
Okay.
HP out of 57, so yeah.
You get 1 hour. We'll rest, and then we're gonna leave here. We're gonna forget about this entire debacle. We're going back to Rubel and pretend none of this has happened.
We
Oh,
can't do
excuse
that.
Excuse me? You want to just leave him
Any of
down
you have-
here? We
He's
have
already
the
dead.
original plan. Go turn off the switch, depower these fucks. Hell, after that,
For
I
what?
might even say let's pull them out and smash the shit out of them.
For what? What good would that do?
Not leaving Hefe's soul down here, for one. Two, we have no idea how many other souls are trapped down here.
I don't see his soul, right?
We don't see a lot of souls, but we know they're here.
I'm not taking that chance. I'm not leaving him down here.
So you all
Decorm,
wanna
we are
die
not
for
going to
nothing.
stop you if you want to leave.
I'm just trying to understand correct. Hephe went into that water, for which he knew was probably not what he was looking for, and you are planning to do the same?
I'm planning on
Water,
turning it
no.
off first. I'm planning on trying to making the sharks no longer be a thing.
And you think the off switch will be less protected than this thing?
Less, yes. I'm not saying it won't be protected. I'm not saying it won't be a difficult thing that we encounter. Hell, I'm not even saying that if we go that way, see that it's something we don't think we can beat, then we don't decide like, hey, maybe we shouldn't try it. I'm saying, though, that walking down that hall, hell, send me and Fluke. See if we can sneak that way. See what we can see without, like, having to necessarily, if you don't want to come, like, make you guys clank down there. I understand you have big armaments, don't want to attract anything to you that you don't have to. But for all we know, it could be unguarded. I doubt it. Highly.
I'm not worried about my armor. I'm not worried about being seen. I'm worried about other people dying for nothing. Because that sounds like what we're doing.
And I can't fault you for that logic. But we know that there are souls trapped down here, and when you die down here, you become trapped. And right now, we need to at least see if there's a way we can make sure Hephe isn't in that predicament. But like I said, I'm not going to try and stop you if you want to go. I'm not even going to try and stop you if you're going to try and stop somebody else or convince them otherwise. But I am going to at least take a look in that hall after a rest.
You understand I can't leave, right?
I look at Lady Licky and I'm like, wait, she can't get you out of here?
I left an entire evil organization to try to be a better person. What kind of good person would I be if I left now? Somebody already died on my watch and it's not gonna happen a second time. So that's why I want to go.
Not to mention, I'm not
If you
sure
are
getting...
determined of staying here, you leave me no choice.
Not to mention, backtracking might be more trouble than moving forward.
Right, then if we're staying, then I suggest we do a long rest. We're going to need everything we can have.
A long rest or a short rest?
Well, a long one, get spell slots and shit back.
Gotcha.
That's something I can agree on.
All right. Asri will set down to cast the dome.
Just out of curiosity, how long have we already been traveling before all this stuff happened in the day? Because I know we had
Good
one
question.
encounter, and then
A
we
lot.
traveled for a bit. I'm just curious how long we actually...
Be a couple hours. So I think at this point it'd be like 5 to 6 hours after you woke up this point.
So it's only like midday then.
Yeah. I'll still allow a long rest in here, just without you won't be sleeping. And instead you'll be just resting, staring, processing.
Yeah, I don't think that Porcelain could sleep. She saw everything.
Good.
And as Ezra is casting the dome, Teak and Galrok,
Yes.
you have been traveling through old dwarven ruins and have gotten kind of lost. At one point, the two of you noticed in the distance a bright orange light, and having no other clear landmarks or obvious ways to go, you decided to at least check out what it is. And as you were about to, you did earlier start seeing like this large lake, and you noticed a lot of movement and excitement in the waters. And a couple moments later, you heard. I won't say you heard the conversation they just had, but you heard like the various
screaming
echoes of it, and barely understandable, but you can safely say people are angry. And to you, I'd say the noise came from like the opposite side of the lake, so you'd have to like travel around it.
What do you think? Should we go check it out?
And forgive my budding accent that I'm creating for this character.
You'll get there.
New character, who dis? I mean, we don't have much of another choice.
Yeah. I guess so. Maybe it's some of the people we lost earlier. Maybe it's Frank and Josh. I haven't seen him in a long while.
I'm gonna be honest with you, lad. I don't think any of our partners are still around.
I'm a lass.
Well,
That's funnier than it should have been.
actually, I'm a dame, but I can forgive you for that for this particular
I
situation.
swear, I legit forgot about that.
I apologize. I did not mean
No,
to.
it's fine. Let's just approach them then, but maybe be a bit silent. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't want to find those devil things again.
Me neither.
Okay. So we approach silently.
Stealth checks.
Hold on, stealth checks.
Nope, that's still on 2GM.
Did
I rolled a 22.
Wow. Impressive.
Ooh.
Handling some flute
So-
there.
The two of you have been traveling through here, and you've definitely realized that danger can come from everywhere and can come in weird shapes and sizes. So the two of you are more careful than fast as you're approaching, and
Okay.
I'd say about half an hour into their short rest, the two of you approach and you see this group of people in the distance sitting.
Okay. When
Well,
we get to
cats
about
have
300
domes, so
feet,
do
when
they?
when we get about 300 feet
They,
away,
Decor,
my spell book, my spectral spell book through Manifest Mind, but it glows, so they'll see it coming. It's a 10-foot radius glowing book. Approaches their bubble or whatever, and it can speak to me, and it has dark vision of a range of 60 feet.
What were you gonna say? Declan?
Decorum is not sitting in the bubble. Yeah, you would probably just find a spot near the wall or solo
Yeah, she's
solo
against it.
contemplation.
Okay.
Basically.
In that case, I would actually say that Teak, you probably recognize Decorum. Oh wait, at the 300 feet not yet, but a little bit later you'd definitely be able to recognize him.
And his
So-
fancy shirt.
I yell,
Well,
Becky!
Okay, let's just go.
Becky! And I just run up to him. Becky, is it you?
The fuck?
I know!
Appropriate.
I know! How the hell did you come here?
Stay away. I'm not in the mood for mind tricks.
Ghost?
Stay away.
Ghost?
Guys.
Yeah, I would have come up at
What
I
about
hear that,
this is
Real. I
you,
guess
the
the
victim.
bubble pops because Asri comes out too.
Asri!
Hey!
You guys! You're all here!
She says in your head, she's gonna say in your head, are you actually Teak?
I am actually Teak, yes.
And who's that?
I'm 300 feet away.
Okay,
Hephe too.
Hefe's 300 feet at the bottom of another dimension.
Well, that's true. So, given
That's
this
dark.
scene and obviously not thinking super rationally in the first place, Fluke is just going to dash up and just, like, cling a hug onto Teak.
I return the hug. I say, oh my god, you guys flew. I'm so glad to see you all. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know how I came here. By the way, DM, do I know where I am? At all?
You know you were in Sleeping
well?
Mountains.
Yeah.
Then you teleported somewhere, and now you're here.
Okay, so I've got
Your
no idea
most
where
logical
I am.
guess would probably be underneath the Sleeping Mountains.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't got a clue. I just teleported from some place to a different place. Are we still in the Sleeping Mountains?
We're underneath them.
You're
so
underneath
this So, person, you're under the Lost Swamps, not the
Oh,
Sleeping Mountains.
My bad. So then, yes, it's we're under the lost swamps. And
Whoa.
I actually put my hand over my mouth after saying that.
What's wrong? Hey, where's Hephe?
Tighter cling. It's just...
And I kind of look around me and I say, Hephe, it's all right. It's me. It's Teak.
He's not.
He's not here.
So where is he?
Trapped. His soul is trapped here. We need to find a way to turn off the mechanical shocks that are in this lake so we can free his spirit.
Okay. So where's his body?
Gone. Like, there's some sort of curse here that when you die here, no body remains, you just disappear.
He died?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, So can we bring him back? If we free his spirit, is he gonna come back?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If that pool of health had any real power, he wouldn't have been gone in the first place. So I don't doubt on it.
I look up at the ceiling.
Yeah, Azri's just gritting her teeth.
Oh. When did this happen?
Less than
2
an
hours
hour
ago.
Huh. Oh.
But
Okay.
happy to see you.
Yes, Dame Teak. It's a surprise, I say. I get out.
It's very good to see you, Teak.
Yeah.
Luke actually just doesn't say any words. He just kind of wipes his eyes, releases the hug, and just kind of pats her shoulder.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. Did you what were his last words?
He didn't really. Oh wait, okay. So we'd have to listen to the last recording, but it was probably something about the plan.
No, it was.
Let's say it was that he knew this thing was not pool of health, but he was aware that this was some dark thing, or a light thing, being kept in the dark.
I believe
That's what motivated him.
I believe actually his last words were, "All right, let's do this."
Oh my god!
I like my first better.
That sounds like him. Yeah. Okay, guys, I just need to process all of this for a moment. I'm really happy to see you guys again. I'm really happy to see people in general. I mean, I was just here with Galrok and
I look around with who?
with Galrok, and I point back towards where we were hiding.
Do I see him?
Dude, can we roll perceptions to see if we can see him 300 feet away?
He's a pretty guy.
I don't imagine you see Galrok yet, but you do notice now suddenly until this point you were completely focused on Teak, and now you notice that there's also this floating book emanating a little bit of light nearby.
I mean, where are they?
Sorry, what?
Luke's actually, is he Trustworthy? Referring to Galrok.
Yeah,
No, he's pointing to the book.
as far as I know, I mean, I've only seen him for a day, but he's a pretty nice guy. Very intelligent. Galrok, these are friends of mine. Come say hi.
I'll start coming forward, and I'll be like, "Hello."
What do we see?
You see a 4'2" dwarf come out of the darkness. He's wearing some nice scholarly robes, and he's got let me pull up an actual picture of him. He's got some runes on his hands, and he's got strawberry blonde flowing hair on the top with let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or so, nine beard groupings like tied together. Braids. Words are hard.
Beard groupings.
Beard groupings. Yeah, as we call it in dwarven culture. He's pretty stocky, weighs 181 pounds, so that's pretty thick for a 4-foot guy.
He is 2 feet taller than me, Jesus Christ.
You're
Swing.
so small.
Swings.
Dwarves are the medium of the large of the shorties.
They are medium creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lady Licky, go greet our guest.
Oh my god. Oh,
Lady Licky immediately jumps up and runs towards Galrok.
Who's Lady Licky?
oh my god, Teak hasn't met Lady Licky either. This is great.
Teak, from your perspective,
Yeah.
this large lizard that up till now had kind of like stayed in the back and kind of looked like just a regular lizard from your perspective, suddenly, as soon as Decorm gives the command to it, just jumps up and looks like this overly excited dog suddenly and sprints towards Galrok.
In preparation, I'm gonna like be ready to cast Shocking Grasp on this thing if it becomes violent.
As it
That's fair.
That's fair. As it sees you like getting ready in a kind of defensive stance, it kind of halts and it kind of takes this like playful like downward dog position as it starts to kind of like walking around you and trying to sniff at you and see if there is a moment where you're gonna lower your guard so it can lick you.
Can I make any kind of check to figure out what this thing is?
Make an animal handling check.
Animal handling check to figure out what this thing is. Okay. That is
Nice.
a 19.
Nice. Definitely not a normal animal. And you do recognize this type of lizard. You know it's not native to the Lost Swamps. It's not even native technically to this continent, I think.
Oh, that's definitely odd.
And you definitely clearly can tell that it's moving with a lot more intent and a lot more thought behind it than you'd expect of a well-trained animal. You figure that this is something similar to a familiar.
Okay, now that I realize what it is and that I don't, I'm gonna let my guard down and hold my hand out and try to pet it.
As you hold your hand out, you get greeted by a lick just over just your entire arm from your perspective, probably. As it comes close now and like immediately starts sniffing you everywhere.
And I'll come forward and I'll look at Decorm and I'll say, "Your mount, I take it."
Yeah.
And as this conversation starts, Lady Licky is also gonna jump towards Teak.
Hi. Wow, you're enthusiastic. The Decorm, is this okay?
Sure. She's her own person. Sort of.
Hi.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's quite a person as it is. It's more of a a summoned creature. If it is, I don't think it has its own independence. If it were.
I don't know. I just called for it in the swamp, and it came, and I put on it, and it helped.
Yes, like I said, a summoned creature, if you will.
Well, I guess. You seem pretty smart.
Thank you.
Luke's just gotta kind of say out loud, not really thinking too hard about it, given what's all been happening. Just like, that is the most refined dwarf I think I've ever seen.
Uh-huh.
Do I recognize this man from university?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
But do make an intelligence check.
Hmm.
21. By his way of speaking and with the glyphs on his hand, you have heard of the kingdom a bit up north of Vitala, where it's actually interesting never mind. That's where you know that like his mannerisms are more common, and you do know that there are certain dwarves, you don't know the exact details of it, that when they make certain accomplishments, get those sigils, and they are said to make them more powerful of sorcerers or wizards.
I'm gonna point at the sigil and say, Vitale, if I'm correct.
Aye, you've heard of my kingdom.
Sure have.
Kingdoms are in alliance.
You are very, very lost. And I thought I was lost.
Aye, it seems we're not in the Sleeping Mountains anymore.
I get that feeling too. Yeah, where are we, guys? Yeah.
Lost swamp.
Below,
I
below
believe
the Lost Swamp.
the lady said the Lost Swamp.
Yeah, but the Lost Swamps is a pretty big place. And you said below it?
Yep.
Well, we were near Hefe's village until we went underground. Bit
Well, the
hard
good part
to-
is at least we don't have to tell his father.
She like is he making a joke?
Yes.
Or is that a genuine? Okay, she just kind of looks at him and is just like, okay. You're not wrong, but that is an issue we probably should look at helping him out.
We have a couple of issues we should be dealing with.
Yes, and the first of which is how to get out of here, back to the Sleeping Mountains. I have ruins that I need to find over there that are very important to me.
Well, the good part is once we're out there, we do have a connection that could teleport us back to Bubble, which is most of the journey. The bad part is it's not the first task on our list. First task is slightly more inwards.
What's that then? Why did you come here?
I'm gonna look at Ezra.
The task down there is what the aforementioned getting Hephe out of here. There's supposed to be a switch that's most likely guarded that we need to turn off to turn all these mechanical sharks off. I'll be honest with you, Hephe knew more than I did about how to get that crystal, some sort of giant good, to undo the curse here. But I do know that that's the plan right now. That, as well as just getting these sharks turned off, makes traveling through here easier either way.
Yes, even if we have to leave the crystal behind, at least it would give someone a better shot at freeing souls later. Anything, really.
And does that have anything to do with the Abashi that attacked us?
We ever forgot what they were called?
Yes, we
Yeah. No, they
Yeah,
also attacked us. Maybe? I don't know.
There's so much information that only Hephe knew.
Yeah.
He was our spiritual guide.
Listening to their story, does it make sense to me? The idea of mechanical sharks that can be turned off with a button that's deeper down.
Sorry.
I sure hope
Figure
not.
Have I maybe
I mean-
in some sort of way heard
Make
about?
an arcane check.
Okay.
I mean, they're right there on the lake. Just don't get too close.
Yeah,
It'll
I
drag
imagine
you back.
you've definitely seen the sharks as you were traveling towards here, and maybe you looked at like, hey, can we get through the water? And then
Yeah,
you
but
saw the screech, and you went, nah, maybe not.
I meant like, does it seem like reasonable to me that if
Yeah.
you turn off a
But
button, they'll
make
just-
an arcane check for that.
Yeah.
But that's just so to establish that you know what these sharks are.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
An 18, I'd say. You're not sure if they were mechanical. You figure disabling them would be a bit more difficult. You figure if they are kind of like arcane or summoned creatures similar to Lady Licky, then it might be possible that there is a simple switch as it were to turn them off.
Okay.
And I'll say when you were looking at them, they seemed definitely not like mechanical creatures, more like I'd say like a summoned creature you would believe, a mechanical creature that would be a stretch.
Okay. Well, I reckon they're probably not mechanical, but it seems to make sense. I don't know. Do you know which way to go? What's going on?
You had a basic heading, right?
Yeah, we had the hallway we need to go down and everything to find it.
Do you think you're close? Because I mean, I can try to maybe detect if there's any traces of magic in the neighborhood.
This whole place is magic, Teak. I've used detect magic while we're down here a couple times. Everything was bound to glow.
Okay.
But it is useful to have it up to know when the pools of magic will coalesce to allow a spirit to commune, or one of these ghosts to talk to you.
Okay. Who did they speak to?
I don't know. So far, we were just speaking to random ghosts and getting glimpses of how they died.
Okay. How did they die?
So far, we've gotten one down here, but it was a beach instead of a cave. We've got one that dug itself to death, basically looking for the red stones. I kind of look around to see if anyone else remembers any of the others, because I believe there was like one other.
There were a bunch
Maybe two.
more.
There were. I don't know. Those were the ones that Asri was
Yeah,
actually a
but-
part of.
I would say actually, Teak, you probably have had the experience with touching one of these like spirit-like entities that are walking around here and experiencing their deaths, as it were, and then being back in your own body.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can't leave Hephe here, right?
Correct.
I mean, I'll help you guys. I'll do what it takes. Yeah.
To you, Mr. Galrok, if you are willing to stay with us for a bit longer, we will be able to help you with the largest part of the journey back. And I don't think your odds of traveling alone are quite high.
I would have to agree with that. Most of our parties already died down here in this past day. They disappeared too. Is that part of this curse that you've been speaking about?
Yes.
Well, it's at least something to bond over.
Perhaps I can learn some things about how this curse works and bring that back to my institute, and that will help too.
Asri will sit down and start recasting Tinser's floating disc. Or not Tinser, sorry, Tiny Hut, Lehman's Tiny Hut. My bad, wrong one.
I see you casting that, and I'll say, oh, is that all that you can cast? I have something actually better than that.
It's hilarious.
She kind of stops and blinks and's like, I'm sorry, is this not good enough? You know what? Go right ahead. You do you.
I'll smile and I'll start casting Private Sanctum.
No. It's still great.
Yes, I believe
He's
you were
not
trying to
making
cast
good first
Lehman's
impression.
Tiny Hut. I have the next level of that, if you would. If you will.
And I'm assuming that this is not a ritual.
No, it's not. It's a full casting, but we're about to go into a long rest, so...
Oh, you drive an electric car. Is it a Tesla, though?
Jeez, on leave?
It's basically-
Hilarious. You pleb.
So what does your private sanctum look like?
Does it actually create, like, materials and stuff? Or is it just...
Yes.
It looks like it just, is like Lehman's Tiny Hut, but on steroids.
Okay, so mine was a white opaque dome that we could see through. What is yours?
I guess it's a black opaque cube that you can see through, but sound can't get in and it can't see into at all.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
no, you're
you
right.
wanted a
It's
fort
much
cube.
more. I thought it was kind of like in between the Magnificent Mansion and the hut.
Yeah,
But
not quite, not quite.
No. it's
Private
literally
Sanctum
Like
is
just-
a
that,
bad name because it sounds more fancy than it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've always liked the.
and it is a much larger area though.
Yeah, it is.
Everyone hears spells like that and they think of the. I think it's technically an unearthed arcana or something, but really neat wizard spell called Galder's Tower. I think that's what everyone thinks about when they see spells like this.
I thought of the fancy mansion.
Yeah, that's what I thought of.
If I ever get a
Is-
wizard again, I'm getting Galder's Tower, as long as the DM doesn't forbid it.
Is
Well,
there anything you'd like to do before your long rest still?
I will say, Fluke will tap his head, just kind of like nudging Ezra.
She'll ask in his head, "What's up?"
Do you want me to steal his book so you can paw through it? I will steal his book for you.
The magic glowing book. I feel like that might be a bit of a way to earn distrust really quickly. And I'll be honest with you, we've still got to make it back to Hefe's village after this. I'm pretty sure I could just ask him to let me look through it for a day.
Am I able to hear them talking about trying to steal my shit just after I
Nope,
meet
this is
them?
in his head.
Okay.
Yeah, Fluke's being very covert about that. Just
I'm
like, yeah, that's fine. He's just being kind of an asshole. So wanted to
I'm
give
being
you the
an
offer.
asshole?
I wouldn't say he was an asshole. Have you met dwarves before? I'll be honest with you. He's actually rather kind for a dwarf. He could have just let me expend all of my stuff and then laughed at it and made a better one after. He stopped me at least mid-ritual, like beginning the ritual casting. I mean,
Faith
to
is
be being
cultured. I
honest,
don't know about kind.
at least in my experience, he's being rather
Very
kind for
practical
dwarves.
kind of kind.
Yeah, but I mean, I also admit most of the dwarves I know were shit-faced drunk, so.
Just like same.
But no, I don't want to steal from what is hopefully a new ally.
He'll just shrug, just like, that's how I do
Not
it,
until
Molly.
they steal from us. Taking that thing back from Decorum was different. He took that from you first.
Allegedly.
This is in our head.
No proof.
Fluke is
Anything
Ezra's
else?
the only one Fluke ever told. Or, yeah.
Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. In that case, as we go for the long rest, I suggest we go on break.
Fair.
Ooh, early bake.
Okay.
Or-
Oh, well, no,
Yeah,
it's
a little
not.
bit
Okay.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like stream time wise early, but actual time wise not early.
Time
Correct.
flies when you're grieving.
Man, that was hold on, Clow. I feel I gotta ask, what spurred him to want to steal from the new guy so quickly?
I mean,
He's a
honestly,
bad
he's
guy.
ju- He's just emotional, and it's like, oh, is that all you could do? And Fluke's like, did you just insult my fucking friend? Do you want to get shanked?
That's not an insult to say, oh, is that all you can do when you're clearly not a spellcaster?
You think he's picking up on that kind of context right now?
Scream spellcaster, so...
Hey, what part of my quarterstaff, crossbow, katana, do you not, that with no armament, doesn't scream spellcaster? For all you know, those
I am only
my
carrying
spellcasting
12
focuses.
weapons right now.
To be fair, you did, the only thing that didn't work for a spellcaster you said there is katana. My crossbow, quarterstaff, unarmored. Yeah, that sounds like a wizard.
I mean,
Where's your
longbow,
focus?
longsword.
The katana's my focus. I'm a war study, of course.
Okay, sure.
Blade
Studying
slinger,
the blade.
clearly.
Don't you see how tone I am?
Clearly she's an elf.
Always
Yeah,
use a
what
secret
the fuck?
agent.
Hey. I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
It's for a dead horse.
Me neither.
There's no such thing as spies. Don't exist yet. I have to give my report in the next day, probably next session.
Yeah, I calculated last. You still had 3 days left when this session started.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yes,
And
it
don't
goes
worry.
per 10 day.
I always know what time it is.
Well, hello, Teak. That was a
What?
big old token.
Well,
At least
what-
on my screen, because I'm
Yeah,
zoomed in at
yeah, I was about to
230%.
They're all token size, or all the same size.
Well,
It was all of a sudden dropped in the middle of my screen, and it was like, Teak! It's a Teak! So we're all here. It's time to get back.
Not so tiny now, right?
Let's get down to business.
to defeat
Beat
the
Chody.
Our own emotional state.
Let's go dungeon delving to discover secrets.
We've got to hit that switch.
Player characters ultimate
We should
battle.
stop with the
Depression.
we should stop with the dead Hephe jokes. It's kind of like beating a dead horse.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink
You can definitely
as
drown
he
it,
dies
though.
from drowning.
I mean, probably only halfway to beating a dead horse, you know.
Is that a
Enough
centaur?
dead Hephe jokes?
Yeah.
Nay.
Nay.
Why do you come up now with
Alright.
the good episode titles?
Seriously, you guys wait. I give you 2 weeks to give me gold, and you wait. I get copper. I got maybe a little bit of silver here or there, but the gold comes session. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely gonna steal this from my tweet.
Okay.
So,
Crafting
as
back.
you have what I imagine to be a very quiet
Yeah.
and kind of solitary, because especially since you do now have the space, as it were, to be on your own for a bit. As you kind of just let yourself rest, maybe you lie down, not really sleep, but at least make sure you don't have any like strong physical work, as it were. And as the 8-ish hours pass by, you all gain the benefits of your long rest.
Okay. Can I also use this long rest to see if any of the peoples here speak Gnomish, Celestial, or Primordial?
You can ask them. A lot of them probably don't seem really that approachable right now.
That's fair enough. I might just wait. Except for Teak. Teak definitely speaks Gnomish.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you probably
I'm
already
already-
knew that when you came here, like in the first 24 hours as well.
Well, I mean, she is a gnome.
Do you speak your own tongue?
The answer might surprise you.
So I would probably spend that part of that long rest if Teak's okay with it, having her teach me Gnomish.
Sure.
Cool. But the feat that I'm working towards linguist. So those are the 3 languages. Just so people know. Like,
I reckon Teak is probably like really glad for the distraction. So she'll happily tell you everything you want to know.
sweet.
Asri will just kind of sit there drinking on her flask every so often.
Porcelain is very quietly to herself, saying a nursery rhyme over and over again, and actually not being able to complete it fluidly every time.
Decorm will give aloud Joy Asray with the drinking, it seems. After 4 hours.
I think if Decorm's drinking with Ezra, Fluke would eventually, kind of, like, meekly wander up to Porcelain and, kind of awkwardly just like, okay.
Hello.
Somberly just like, hi. Sit with her, just like, is it okay if I sit here?
It's fine.
He won't press her much, but he honestly doesn't want to be alone right now, so he doesn't shoo it if she doesn't seem perturbed.
How are you?
Wondering the same with you? I mean, not the first time I've heard of someone being gone, but it was just like, it'd always be like some guild member I didn't really know that well and wouldn't be there and kind of trail off.
So you haven't lost anyone before?
Probably going to sound a little callous to say, but not anyone of substance. Like, I mean, like, if you, I have to imagine anyone in a town, every now and again he might have heard something happened. Someone fell down a well or something. If you didn't know him, it just like, oh, that's sad. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, it does. I've only experienced it once, or at least I thought.
Kind of nod over to Ezra for a second, just like, eh.
That's right. Oh, well, we were girls, and well, it was difficult. I had to do it quietly. I wasn't allowed to be friends with her technically, and so when it happened,
Crunch, 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 crunch.
I was the only one who knew. And couldn't talk about it, really. So I'm not sure I really know how to deal with it or talk about it.
That's true of a lot of us. You like seeing. I've find you interesting, he'll say awkwardly. And it's been weird for me because I don't want to get in the way of, you know, he's mumbling to himself now.
I'm not sure if you were pausing or breaking up. Can you repeat that?
So, he was starting off saying just like, don't know if a lot of us do. I felt didn't want like seeing you alone and didn't want to be alone, and I mean I find you interesting to talk with, but I don't really want to. Ezra, I would consider a friend, but I don't want to get in the way of your rekindling, and I don't know, I just feel like a bother sometimes.
If you could do me a favor, don't be hesitant to speak to me. I've had that a lot in life, actually.
I mean, I guess I probably have been before, but it's more not because of anything about you, just wasn't sure if you much. We had nice time training together, but I guess I've just been worried about being perceived as taking your friend away or anything. His ears are folded and he looks really awkward right now.
Unless you're going to nab her or something, I don't see how you could take her away.
Which do I been getting along the best in this group, and then you came up, and it made it feel like I was imposing.
No, it's fine. And I'm turning red at this point, like I'm getting visibly frustrated.
I get that. He'll just kind of lean his head against you, just like, don't really have to talk anymore. I like I said, as long as it's okay just to not be alone.
Sorry, I'm just don't quite know what's going on exactly. I haven't stuttered like this since I was very young.
Got like ponderance in that, just like do something traumatic. I don't know what to do with myself either. It's just breathing and trying to help our friend in however we can.
Bad? Is it bad not to cry?
I mean, I've tried some, but I tried more, and Corum's being kind of more of a prick than usual, but I think we're just all dealing with it how we deal with it.
It's just strange. Wait for it to come, and it doesn't. I cried for ages when Asri was gone. But I think the last time I cried was sometime in academy.
I think I was still a technical child by how my ages.
Well, You can sleep if you want to.
I'm not tired. I frank about that and just kind of sit with her, and as the long rest goes out.
Yeah, I think the rest would just be quiet.
Yep, I'd imagine. Nice somber moment, though.
Is there anything Decorm and Esre were wanting to say to each other, or just silently drinking together?
Asri wouldn't necessarily be inclined to open with any speech, but she wouldn't ignore him or like turn him down or anything. Like if he approached, I imagine them both kind of just leaning against the wall at this point, just slowly sipping their drinks, staring off into space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Seeing that they're drinking, once I was done with Teak, I'd probably go over there and offer them some of my ale that I brew.
Okay.
It seems that you be drinking. You want some drink? I'll put some hair on your chin.
Is it stronger than whiskey straight?
It's a nice dwarven ale. I wouldn't say it's stronger than the hard spirits.
She raised an eyebrow. An ale in a cave. Now that's not an offer you get often. And she'll kind of walk towards you. And like kind of gesture her head that way to invite Decorum.
And before
I mean,
oh, go ahead.
It's an ale,
I'm gonna
not
stick
a wine.
I'm gonna stick with the strong stuff, but I'll gladly drink it when I'm in a better mood. It's wasteful to drink a drink when you drink for drinking.
I love that sentence.
Actually, Asri will pause, and she'll say, "He actually makes a valid point."
I respect that. I wouldn't want you wasting the drink that I make either. And I'll I'll whisper the password to unlock my bag of holding, and pull out part of the brew supplies that holds my ale, and pour a glass for Asri. I'll take a glass for myself.
I have a quick question for DM because I'm that guy. Can I roll a perception to see if I hear the password?
I would have said it before I came up.
Oh, my apologies. You said that like you used. Okay, my
Yeah,
apologies.
that's fine. That's
I
fair.
thought that was like
Wise
within
to
hearing
you.
range. Hey man, you never know. But yeah, she will drink with you. At some point though, she will kind of stop and say, "This is a bit of a thing of my people. It's not meant as a disrespect." But she's going to pour some of it out onto the ground, and it's like it's supposed to be meant for the dead.
Is it for Hephe? Is it?
Yes.
Was he a good lad?
Better than most.
I'll pour out a drink for the homie. That's not self-serving at all.
Hey, she will.
No, the guy
no,
is disrespectful.
Hey, you asked, was he a good lad? I say he was better than most. Oh, okay.
The best among us.
After a while,
After
Luke would
Good.
probably mention to Porcelain and where it went for that, just like, I don't know if you can concentrate that much, but while we're resting, do you think you would probably want to summon your companion back? If he's the only familiar that lives through their distraction.
Oh, it was muted.
Ah,
She says, like kind of blinking, like you just had something dawn on her. Oh, yes, of course. And I'll start ritual casting Elvira back.
All right.
Seeing you do that, Azrael will be like, right, and do the same.
When
Also
she
distracted.
appears, she like wraps her wings like nearly around my entire neck and the front of my face, and she's like hugging my face.
I was scared,
Just imagine it
Mama.
slapping against you, just
Mom!
Please don't send me to the sharks again.
When Chonkers appear, he just kind of looks at Azri and just. And he will go next to Decorum, Mo, and sit.
Decorm is gonna grab him and say, "You and I, we need to talk."
Oh God.
Mo?
And he'll take Lord Chonkers with him, just go rambling a bit.
He's letting it all out. I get it.
Question is, does his rambling include informing Chonkers of Hefe's death? Because I don't think Chonkers knows.
Chonkers would technically, because he's technically part of Esray, so he would know.
Okay, fair.
If he didn't, he does now.
That's true.
Exactly.
After the tutelage, Teak will be sitting on her own for a while, just staring into the distance. And after like a minute or like 10 minutes go by, and she'll join the rest of the drinking people and ask, "Hey, would you happen to have a glass for me as well?"
She said Hephe.
And it's already starting.
Aye, lass, I got a cup for you as well. And I guess now that everyone's here, I'll have to I'll say would you mind covering your ears? I have a special password that allows me into my bag, and quite frankly, I don't know all of you quite well enough to have you know what the word is.
Yeah, sure. And I cover up my ears.
I look at Azri.
Oh, my bad. I wasn't paying enough attention, forgetting about that. Yeah, no, she will oblige and cover her ears.
Okay, and then I whisper to the bag the password, and then pull out the tankard and hand it to Teak.
Thanks.
Aye, lass. Dame. Sorry.
That's just fine. You don't need to call me. It's just I'm not a lad.
Far.
So, hey. Galrok,
Aye.
where did you learn magic?
Why did I learn magic, you ask?
Where did you learn magic?
Oh, I learned it. I learned it back home in the city of. Pull up my thing real quick.
Where the hell am I from?
Nazca. I first learned it in the heritage library of my home, and then I eventually was able to join the Compendium Athenium, where I've able to study my higher levels of magic.
So how did you end up in Levasti, where I met you?
Last night, I don't think you remember where we met. We met in the ruins, in the ancient dwarven ruins within the Sleeping Mountains.
Yeah, but it was near Levasti, right? I mean, that's still pretty far south.
Was it though? Yeah.
You guys could have been a parallel to Perilli Republic and been equal distance from both kingdoms, honestly.
Yeah, but the amount of travel time that Teak had to travel probably be within the kingdom of Levasti.
It would have been actually pretty south, even further south probably on Levasti, because the volcano that causes the spirits is very, very south, and it was very close to there where you entered at least.
Okay.
And I'll say from I think from Galrok's perspective, it probably have slightly more of a historical perspective, but there is definitely a faction within Vitale who sees like the Sleeping Mountains as theirs as it were, because they remember still the Ear Empire as and they see themselves kind of as the descendants of the Ear Empire. And how your character like looks to that is up to you, but there's definitely a faction within the country that thinks like that.
Yes, and that was what I was referring to, and I was not confused about our meeting at all.
But so it's for again, but for Vital it's more regular, as it were, to send out expeditions all over the Sleeping Mountains, while other Perilli and Levasti tend to stick closer to their borders.
Okay.
Listen here, lass. You try to tell a dwarf to stay out of the mountains, you're gonna have a bad day.
Fair.
That's fair, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy I found you. Otherwise, I would have been alone in these caves. Or maybe you wouldn't have been here if you hadn't met me, right?
Perhaps, lass. Perhaps we would have activated it, and then we wouldn't have had more people over here when the Abashi attacked. No point questioning the past. We only have the future to look forward to. Lots of things to learn, especially about those Abashi. I pull out my book, my book of grudges, and I write down, Abashi. Kill as many as you can.
And everywhere, every other dwarves' book of grudges updates.
Not quite.
Yeah, those guys were assholes. Did you know they almost set fire to Mr. Box?
Oh my god, is Mr. Box
I
here?
love it, yes.
Mr. Box is here.
Yeah. He like
I don't think the box can light on fire, lass.
Can he?
I think he technically he can't be lit on fire like he's wood, because he isn't, but he does take fire damage as well.
Yeah. Okay. Oh well. I'm just happy he's still around. And
I find familiar.
And I throw Mr. Box caltrop.
He snatches out of the air and looks at you with big puppy eyes, seeing if there's more Scooby snacks for him.
I throw him the second one, and I return to the conversation.
Okay.
Does Galrok find familiar?
No, Galrok does not have Find Familiar, but he does have a book that follows him around.
His book
It
is
counts. We all have
counts, yeah.
We all have a pet.
I don't need a familiar. My book is my familiar.
It's basically true. I say basically, but I think it's actually true, just.
A little bit different.
So, are we all
but...
about ready to go further into this hellhole? I want to have this over with.
Yeah, I reckon.
I will say, as we're nearing the end of the long rest, Fluke would probably want to tell, I guess as a way of a eulogy or coping, Fluke would probably tell some nice stories about Hephe to give us all the 10 hit points, but he would probably only do it for the players, because I really don't think he's emotionally able to give it to the mounts and the familiars right now.
That's fair.
That's 10 HP?
10, yeah.
Okay. After you're done telling the story, Galrok will say, "Aye, he did sound better than most."
I could ride him all day.
We
I'm
did
gonna-
sometimes.
I cock my eyebrow at that.
I think Fluke actually
Teak.
will get a snicker out of that, just like...
I'm just looking towards the ceiling with a dreamy look on my face.
Deep, do you
I
want to
have
ride
heard-
Lady Licky?
Sorry?
Do you want to ride Lady Licky?
Can I ride Lady Licky?
You are, by exception, allowed to ride Lady Licky. Come with me.
I step on the back of Lady Licky.
And I'll step behind her. I'll step behind her. So we're both on Lady Licky.
And together you ride Lady Licky.
Whoa! What?
As the DM describes Lady Licky being ridden.
I'm just gonna look at that.
Dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum.
Ah, so
I
that's
was-
what she meant.
I was
eh?
picturing
I was
Lady
quite
Licky as one-
curious how that was going to work out.
Well, I'm pretty sure he would have split her in half, so not the way we like to make the joke about.
Yes, that's why I was quite confused when she was saying that. I've heard stories about the horsemen.
Right then, shall we?
But
Did you
yeah,
also
I was-
ride this Hephe quite often, Azri?
Oh, as often as I could, and she'll throw a wink his way, being over dramatic about it.
I'll
Um,
let out a boisterous laugh.
DM,
just
I'm
get
kind of
Pat
curious.
Porcelain's-
I imagined the lizard as being just like a lizard.
Oh,
But it's
no,
like a big
it's-
fucking lizard.
Yeah, it's a large
bountiful.
creature. It is
like a horse.
It's a large
yeah.
creature.
It's larger than a horse, as it were.
Whoa! Okay.
Riding lizard.
It's Clydesdale.
Awesome.
It's like the same size category, but I'd say it's slightly larger than a horse.
Fluke will also just kind of pat Porcelain's side and just kind of look over at Ezra and smile, and just like, she's helping. Just like, this is a good sign. Weird as it is.
All right.
Okay.
Shall we go on?
We'll ride.
Yes.
Shall we away?
I'd like two of you to make perception checks.
Dibs.
Really? Because can you see?
With chonkers?
In this area, it is much more lit up than before with the crystal that is still emitting light.
I would also be trying to use my my manifested mind to be a good few hundred feet ahead of us, acting as a scout as well.
Okay. Then you also make a perception check between then two others also, so it's like a bonus.
Okay. Not that my perception's any good, but throw it out there. Hey, 19.
Not
Good
bad.
roll.
So one more.
All right,
I can do one.
Fluke.
Look, start looking.
Pretty good.
Use them eyes.
Go, scouts of hell.
Those kobold eyes. You know, always the first one. What's an 18?
Okay. I'd say, Galrok, you are mostly just looking for something of an ambush of creatures or something, or for danger, as it were. Where Azray and Fluke are more looking for the description that they got from the dwarf. Or from the spirit dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
So since I Galrok, to you everything seems safe. You see like different sizes of bats and other like normal animals, but you know that those are mostly either hunting each other or hunting bugs. And for Esray, you do notice as you have to travel kind of further along, as you have to like walk around the whole lake. But as you come to the large dwarven structures that Teak and Galrok actually came out of, probably. You do note that next to, on both sides, next to it, there are these staircases that go downwards. And they are fairly rough compared to the rest. I'll say the rest is all very well and finely carved and very clearly made to impress. And these ones seem much more made in a hurry, and as long as it doesn't collapse in, it's good as well.
Question. What would I roll, if anything needed, to see if these match the description of the stairs that Hephe went down in his vision? That's a bit of a reach, I know, because I'm hearing a secondhand description of his vision, and it's been a bit, so a day.
I'll say it reminds you of it, because it's the same double set of stairs. You do recognize that this location doesn't look at all like the location he described where he took those stairs down, but you also remember where he was. There were also stairs up. So it could be that it's connected.
Do these appear to be dwarven in origin?
Make an intelligence check with advantage.
Intelligence check with advantage. Okay.
Yeah, I do notify everybody of what I'm seeing, because I'm not sure who would actually even.
Wow.
That advantage.
Wow.
Well,
That's.
I'm just suddenly thinking, if Ezra did this roll, it would be the worst advantage ever. Because the natural one she could re-roll. But then it becomes a 2.
Oh, beautiful.
But in a 5 and a 6, I'm gonna say you think probably so. You basically are just guessing, but since everything here is dwarven and it is notable not so much about the. It's notable because it is more hastily made, as it were, but it's not notable in that it's clearly in a different style or different technique of making.
okay.
And I will say that Ezra and Fluke, probably on the left side, you recognize this staircase as the place, what was his face, the Dwarven Spirit talked about. I'm fairly sure he had a name.
He gave one, I
don't
just.
remember.
Dwarven Spirit
don't
number
remember.
362.
Something like that. But you do recognize that as the location where you need to be. And with the 25 perception, I'm also going to say, Ezra, you notice that the larger structure, the much more finely made structure, deeper in to you seems how would I say it? It seems like it feels to you like a city gate, as it were. Like it is not there, but you feel like there should be a huge door or some way to block this area off, as it were.
Feels like a grand entrance.
Well, as I'm describing, because I will describe everything to anybody, I'll ask, do we want to send one of the little ones out to see if there's anything trap-wise, or...
I take Elvira down from where she's been clinging to my shoulders, and she resists at first. I say, come on now. No shocks this time. And she lets go.
I'll also say, I have my book ahead. It's able to go 300 feet away and let me know everything that there is.
That's certainly faster than she can fly. And she tries to cling back.
Saved by the bell.
But Galrok, that's your spell book. That's extremely valuable, right?
It's not exactly my spell per se, Dane.
When she says that, Elvira looks at her and her ears go flat.
I'll pull out my book. I'll pull out my actual spell book.
Like,
I'll say, my spell book's right here. This is just its mind summoned into a special form, if you would.
Ah, that's neat. That's really interesting. You didn't tell me that last time.
It's weird.
Ah. Well, that completely
Neat and
surpasses
weird.
all the things I was thinking about. Transmuting the wood to actually make sound vibrations and such. Huh, so it's more like a fey kind of magic. Fascinating.
So, where did you want to send your book? Do you want to send it down the stairs or?
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll send
so
it down
it's-
the. I'll send it wherever they tell me to go. Which, if that's down the stairs, since there were people with the knowledge at this point, that's where it would go.
Okay. Roll a perception check, and someone else roll a d8.
Who wants the D8?
Poof. 1, 2, 3.
I'll take
D8.
There we go.
There. That's 3.
These
Oh.
rolls.
Hey,
Alrighty.
we both rolled a d8, but we rolled the same, so it's fine.
No, I don't see your d. Oh, where did you roll it to DM? So.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
still on TM roll.
How dare you make a decision?
As your book goes deeper in, it takes you a moment, but about the staircase spirals downwards and it travels fairly slow. But at about, I'm gonna say 50-ish feet down, you hear basically it sounds like a fish on the dry, as it were.
Your fish on land, flopping
Yeah.
around.
And
Plop,
as
plop,
you
plop, plop,
look
plop,
down,
plop.
you notice that the in the walls there seems to be this crack, and it's difficult for you to see. So yeah, with the perception for you don't see it precisely, but you do see water streaming out of it, and you see on the one of the stairs down under you, one of the sharks is kind of like flopping off and trying to get to the edge of the stairs, but doesn't seem to be able to get itself to move, as it were.
About 50 feet down these stairs, there appears to be one of them shark-like beings that we've seen in the lake, flopping about, trying to get off the stairs, but not quite able.
Magikarp, motherfucker.
Blue just instantly pulls out his sword, just like,
Yeah, Asri's got her bow out because she's ready to kill this thing.
Is there anything else around it that I can see with that for?
Not but a 4.
Is it able to keep going down the stairs?
It is.
Then it would continue to scout.
At about, I'd say a little bit further down, at 60 feet, about at the height where the shark is, you do notice that there is a way inward, deeper towards the city, as it were. And if you go deeper further, you notice that about every 60 feet there is a path inward. And I'd say, because you can travel through for 300 feet, right?
Yep, but no more. I would stop it before I did that.
Okay, I'd say when you're about, that would be about 150 feet, I'm gonna say, down. There, you notice that the bottom of the pool is. It isn't really filling up with water, but it is. There's a lot of water there, and it's streaming down another path.
And that's at the bottom.
Yeah,
Of the
that's
staircase?
that's the bottom. Yeah, the whole thing is about 200 feet deep.
Okay, I'll relay all that information to them.
Okay.
So should I have him look through any of these paths, or should we just go down and check out for ourselves?
Well, we can certainly send one more to see if there's anything that can be heard and not seen. And I'm trying to pry her off me again. Come on, it'll be fine. It's on land. And she lets go.
Do I notice that it's a familiar? Elvira, whatever the bat's name is.
I'd say probably. Well, you probably would have seen her being summoned.
Yeah.
So I would just look at the familiar, the little pet, and be like, now do as your master says, otherwise you'll get rid of you and make another one.
She looks at you like she can't cry physically, but if she could.
What? It's not a pet, it's a manifestation of your magics.
Don't listen to him. Go on now.
Fluke's just looking at Ezra and making hand gestures at her.
Elvira's gonna flutter ahead, reluctantly.
Make a perception check for Elvira.
Alright, let me pull up her little
And
sheet.
in Fluke's head, he will hear, I don't know, I think he's an emotional support for Decorm right now.
Alright, so I'm gonna do it twice because she gets advantage for hearing.
And I'll also take this moment to, because it has been a couple of sessions, the Dwarven Spirit did say that you had to be at the bottom to find the off switches were.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With a natural 20,
Fuck.
yeah, because Elvira has echolocation, right? So she
That's right.
can kind of see what they're hearing. So she definitely notices that the stream of water, how it started, she wouldn't be able to tell, but it is very clearly that someone has made this hole here purposely large enough for sharks to come through, and also made it so that it doesn't just cave in on itself immediately as well. This is not a natural place. It seems fairly, well, not
Deliberate.
necessarily recent, but much more recent than everything else you've been seeing here.
Okay.
And other than that, she also sees the shark and notices it. It just is not able to move at all, or it is able to move, but just not change its location, as it were.
She will still give it a wide berth.
That's fair.
And if that's all that can be seen, or rather heard, she'll come back and tell me everything, and I'll relay the rest to everyone.
How deep would she? Would she like go into the paths, or would she stay in the stair shaft, as it were?
At least the main area. I don't think she would go off into any other chambers if there are.
Okay. In that case, that's all she notices.
All right. So after conveying everything, she'll say, "So that move forward." I say questioningly.
Sounds like a fair enough point to me.
I'll start walking forward and say, nope, it's good mystery, let's get going.
Let's stab a shark.
Are
Yeah.
we going all the way to the bottom?
should be where our goal is.
Oh, I'm so curious what are down the other hallways.
Maybe we can check that out another time after we've gotten the mission completed.
Do you
but
promise?
For now, I think we...
Multiple
I said
ways to die.
I'll join you.
I did use the word
no,
maybe as my
no.
first word.
I mean,
Fair.
next time I'll join you. Not right now. Of course not right now.
First, we need to free all the spirits, get out of here, get back to Rubel, all that jazz, right?
I mean, we can free all the spirits and figure out what's going on down here and then go back to Rubel, right?
Without saying anything, she's gonna glance towards Decorum and say, well, perhaps that's something we can discuss at another time. For now, I really want to kill that shock.
Yes. Nothing but murder. I understand. Let's go.
Who's leading?
Revenge.
Revenge.
Who is
Good question.
leading the group? Because you say you have a space for about 2 people next to each other as well.
Sounds like Porcelain and him.
Not Squishy Boy.
So you're not heading?
I'm definitely going down the stairs, but I'm not leading down the stairs. I'm a wizard, bitch.
All right, I'll be up
He's
front.
curious, but he's also smart.
I'll be next to
Unfortunately.
Porcelain.
Okay, so Porcelain and Esai first.
Yep, and as soon as I see the shark come into view, I'm going to blast it with a firebolt.
Okay, but
I'm
before
releasing that arrow.
Before that.
Oh, before that.
As you step into the staircase, as it were, as soon as you hit the first step on the staircase, all of you hear a voice going, "Oh, hello there. I'm not sure how you got down here, but it is very dangerous down here, so I recommend you go back up to, if you follow the path that you were just on and go just down and down against the river stream, you'll get back up the surface, no problem. Unless you're Hephe, then I'm mostly at the 2nd floor here. We need to talk. If you are also a wizard who could do something about all these ghosts here, then also please come talk to me because they are annoying."
Hold on.
I'll
He actively
respond.
says Hephe?
He actively says Hephe.
I literally whip around. We're going up. Guys.
I put my hand on the top of her head because
Yeah, I
that's
put
as
it
far
on
down as I can reach, and and I say, right, and who exactly I was speaking to?
Luke's got to perk up, just like, I think that was something someone left.
I'll just respond. I'm a wizard. I might be able to help. If you tell me what's going on, I love a good mystery. I might be able to see what I can do.
Make an arcane check, Galrok.
Okay. Arcane check. Okay, these rolls have been fantastic.
You're not really good, but I'd say 10 is enough for you to recognize. I think you recognize it of a similar spell of the library where it kind of triggers. This was very loud to everyone, and the one version that you know, it specifically says it to someone's mind, as it were, where it when you enter certain parts of the library, it reminds you of the rules that are, if there are like any restricted knowledge in that area, and how to deal with that, as it were.
Oh, okay.
And you recognize it as this was not specifically someone speaking, as someone recorded something, and the trigger, likely stepping on this specific step, triggers the words coming.
Oh, then I won't respond.
Fluke would be just started explaining, just like, I mean, I don't know everything about magic, but they didn't know anything about the ghosts. They didn't know who we were, but know Hephe might be coming this way. It's just context clues, you know?
And I'll just say, hi, this is a pre-recorded message. I think it just says to anybody that's walking down here. We aren't able to respond. We have these in our libraries.
Hello, are you a pre-recorded message?
What did I just say?
Does it respond?
I'm gonna
It does not
look
respond.
at him.
I can
and
say for sure it is not It is a pre-recorded message.
I guess it was good that you at least asked, just in case it wasn't.
I look at Galrok and I look up towards him and I try to give him a convey a look of just like it's just who he is.
I'm gonna try to insight the look to see if I get that message.
Just let it go. It's who he is.
Insighty.
Ha!
I get the look that this isn't abnormal.
Galrok, I went to university, so I know.
Do proper research and make an hypothesis and find a conclusion.
I know the scientific method.
Never use it, but I know it.
I'll just kind of look him up and down and say,
Yes, me.
Okay.
I did not say you, I said I.
No, me.
Yes, educated as you say, yes.
Yes. So, shall we go up or down?
The second, like when you said second floor, is he referring to like the second floor downward, or is there a stairwell up to go to like the second floor?
Exactly.
You don't know?
Well, what we, the description that he said,
He said second floor.
Let's go downwards.
Bad guys are always down.
We can
Decorm looks at Fluke.
Also, the stairs only do go only downward.
okay, there was no staircase up. That's what I thought. Now the question is this considered the ground level that we came from? Is that considered the first floor? What does
Let's
second
find
floor
out.
mean?
Also, don't know if
It's
you
not,
know first.
it's not important. We're on the first floor. We'll go downward till we find this guy.
He said he would be up.
Well, that's his problem. We are here to do,
Do we
one
want to
thing,
go look around
and that
from-
one thing is downwards.
I have keen mind. I know exactly what he said. What
He said-
exactly did he say?
He said second floor. That he said he spends most of his time on the second floor, and that's where you most likely find him. I guess anyone who wants to can make an insight check to figure out how this person has. I would say this insight check with disadvantage, but to figure out how this person counts the floors.
I have
definitely
proficiency in insight.
I don't. Still gonna try though.
Ugh. 2 on the goddamn die.
Go, natural double 20s. No.
No.
Galrok, please.
I'd say Porcelain, Esray, and Galrok. You all figure that no matter if he is from what way up he's counting, the road in the middle as where would be the second floor. Unless he counts this floor also as a floor, then then it could be every floor again. But most likely the middle floor, as it were.
I'll look around. Y'all thinking that it's the second floor, the middle floor as well?
I'm thinking we should go down.
I would agree.
So let's go.
As the next person also stand on the thing, it goes off again. Exact same message.
I'm not.
Like, okay, let's keep moving. I don't want to hear this 1,000 times.
I let Mr. Box, with all his feet, tread over it.
Why?
Just because we can. Because I can.
No, Azri is gonna ask you why.
I don't know. I was just curious if there was a finite amount we would do it.
It keeps going until at some point Mr. Box is tired of it and just starts crawling further as it were.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm just as eager as everyone else, but well, he seems to know something about Hephe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely something we want to look into, but be any number of people. Definitely, I mean, I don't plan to ignore it, but still want to deal with those sharks and possibly inspect the crystal.
I am, but
For
this
all
man
we
has
know,
been
it
here
could be
first, so
someone
perhaps...
that Chody left behind.
Who is this Chody?
It's a long explanation another time.
All right, maybe give me the short story then, since we're naming
The
people
rival
now.
centaur that apparently has been corrupted by fire spirits.
Oh, thank you. Very, very informative.
I mean, it sounded like he didn't want us to go, except for Hephe. So he seems to be generally kind-hearted.
Or a wizard that could help. And I'm a wizard that might be able to help. I'm curious. I want to find out.
And it's just that.
Or maybe it's a very clever ruse. It's probably fine. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna... You don't get... Well, at least let me say that. Lady Licky, Decorm, and Teak are on it. Gonna go down.
And Lady Licky is like partially crawling on the stairs and partially on the wall, so you have like this roller coaster ride, as it were, as it goes down.
This is the shit. I love this. Whee! Whee!
Make an athletics check with advantage for Lady Licky.
She has spider climb. I don't know if it's relevant, but she has spider climb.
I can't give double advantage.
Double ones.
Okay.
Double ones.
Double ones. 11.
With an 11, she starts going and she starts.
Can I, wait a second. Can I help Lady Licky by being like, oh, look out, there's a stone over there?
You can't do double
would just give
advantage.
that
Basically, no. I want to use one of my Flash of Geniuses. So you can add my intelligence modifier to the ability check.
Okay, that is definitely gonna make a
nice.
Well, hey,
16.
16.
This Lady Licky starts going and starts hearing you cheer. She starts going faster and faster, and at one point, before you realize it, she's at the shark and she just bumps it away with her head, and the shark falls about 150 feet towards the ground as you are sliding further as if nothing happened.
Yeah. What was that?
No idea. Faster, Licky. Faster!
Yay!
Make another athletic check with advantage.
So real quick, they just bolted off
They
without
just
us.
bolted off.
Okay, cool. So
You took too long talking.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. I get it. This is
Not 12.
Faster! Faster!
You go up the speed of plaid.
I know.
So, Lady Licky goes faster and faster, but continuously remain in perfect control until she reaches the bottom, and she just kind of scooches, and you see this, like, remains of the shark that just fell down and landed after 150 feet. Still alive, but now very sloppily and slowly trying to move with drawing its last breaths. As Lady Licky slides a little bit into the root and then stops, and I'd say she kind of like steps up and starts kind of shaking herself.
Yeah. I pet her neck and I'm like, good girl, good girl.
I don't know about anyone else, but I think Fluke's just like, oh god, and starts dashing after.
Make an athletics check, Fluke.
Oh, great.
Dame Teak, please don't talk
Or
down to my
acrobatics,
lizard.
actually.
Okay, that's actually a lot better.
Yeah, I know.
But she's a good girl. She's the greatest girl.
God, low roll.
With an 11, make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, I'm also good at those.
That's fair.
Come on. There we go.
Okay,
That's
20.
better.
So you start running after, and it goes good for most of it. Until you get past the part where the shark used to lie. And you don't notice it first, but the stairs there are much more wet and slippery. And you start sliding, and you start falling for a couple of stair steps until you manage to regain control and kind of make a roll, and manage to safely climb the rest of the stairs.
As he gets near the bottom, he like whispers something to Vivi, and just like he flies back up and floats up to Porcelain and Ezra and the dwarf, just like, "Caw, slippery, wet, mind your feet," and then just flies back down.
I'll start summoning my manifested mind back up to the second floor where I plan on stopping.
Okay.
Asri will kind of just walk alongside Porcelain, and I'm assuming Galrok is behind them.
Yeah.
And to the second floor we go. I don't know if that's the floor they ended up on, but
No, they went all the way to the
they-
bottom, it sounds.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I
What
thought.
do we see at the bottom? What do we see at the bottom?
At the bottom, Decorm, make an intelligence check.
Oh, yay! Not a perception check, so I'm already happy. Teak as well, or?
No. So, Decorm, as you get to the bottom and you look around, this place seems familiar somehow.
Oh shit!
And as you start looking around, it isn't the specific same place, but it has the same pulse of warmth that the chamber you and Hephe found yourselves in after the route with the faces.
Hephe was so close! He was so close!
Guys, you might want to take a come and look at this.
Teak, to you, that seems just to be an oddly warm, but just a regular hallway.
But it does go straight ahead, right? There is more.
It does go straight back. It is definitely more.
Well,
Can I
we
find
are...
any possible source of the heat?
Make an perception and arcane check.
Okay.
You find it difficult to tell exactly, and you're kind of like moving around a bit through the hallway, searching for something. And as you do notice that as you move deeper in, it seems to start kind of pulsing, and there's this slow gulf of warmth coming, every wave of warmth, that's the word I was looking for, every so often. And you figure that somewhere deep within there is this massive heat source that is just pulsing throughout the entire area. And with the 20 Arcana, I'm gonna say you think that this might have at one point be some form of way to keep the buildings in this area heated, even though it's deep underground and doesn't get a lot of sunlight.
Uh-huh. A sort of ancient central heating. I just kind of mumbled to myself, lost in thought.
Okay. Yeah, so what are you doing?
They.
Who?
Any of you?
Well, we're going down the stairs.
Well, I mean, I assume we get to the second floor, and I just Was curious as to what do we see when we get there?
Because Decorm did call you that you probably wanted to see the thing that was at the bottom.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, I walked away at the wrong time.
Oh, yeah, that was as you got back actually. So
Yeah.
you probably missed it.
I'll at least go check out what he's seeing.
Okay. So I imagine all the three of you make a perception check, since I imagine you do stop for a moment at the second floor.
Okay. Perception.
Woo.
Oop, that was not supposed to be with advantage.
Doesn't matter. It was 17 regardless.
17, 18. Galrok, for you, the sentence "you might want to come and see this" is like promising candy to a toddler. You're way too excited about this, and
You're looking for something shiny.
yeah,
I push it through the two of them and start going down the stairs with haste.
exactly. Like you maybe give it a glance.
You
but
cast haste?
It's a hallway.
With haste, not with super. Yes.
How did you die last time, Ralgo?
By trying to control water.
That's fair. Asray and Porcelain, as you take a look, it reminds you a little bit of the mines that you saw above, but much less excessive, as it were. This seems... you'd figure that this has been done more by actual miners over people that were exiled or were deemed to already be dead, as it were.
Professionals.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, that's-
out of
Puffs up in this bitch.
At such a young age.
wait,
It's like
can I ask an out?
Being
sure.
minors and all.
What do you want to ask, Jerry?
Out of at one point, Hephe did mention to us that Hephe was the title, not necessarily his name, right?
Yeah.
So the Hephe
yeah.
somewhat in
Oh,
that sort. So the
I will
Hephe in this
say-
title could also refer to any Hephe.
It could. I will say with that the voice did say Hephe as a name over a title, but you do know that all the Hefes with the title also had the name Hephe, so that doesn't change much.
Okay, so it's not necessarily our Hephe. It could also be interpreted that he's looking for the king of the land.
Yeah, you
Okay.
could.
But only the king of that specific clan that's existed for
Yeah.
a few generations.
That's true. That's true.
Divination
But,
magic exists.
Yeah, so you notice that there's this similar like cave system there, and let me actually quickly grab, because Ezra, you can tell, and Porcelain, I imagine Ezra just pointed out, and then you can also tell. But there seem to be in the distance some moving lights, as it were, and as they move, you would be able to tell the moving lights. But what Ezra also notices and probably points out is that where the lights move, surrounded, it seems like a ripple goes through the shadows it leaves on the walls.
I definitely point that out.
Suppose, but best to have the skilled magic user take a look.
You're not wrong.
And suppose we continue down the stairs to see what the hubbub is.
All right.
Look at this.
Well, I certainly look around.
And as you look, with the 13, you do also notice the pulsing of the heat. And to you, it is the area you see has definitely similar vibes, kind of to the system you saw above, where it's much more intricately carved, and you notice even at a couple of places there are different types of stone used that you haven't seen in these cave systems before. So, which are definitely like brought here and carved here as to be part of the wall.
So, it might not look like much and be a bit weird, but this is... Hephe and I went to this place in one of our collective visions, which I still not completely understand. It seems significant.
Huh? You had
Yes,
collected-
that seems very.
What did you say?
Sorry,
Teak?
Teak?
I said you had collective visions with him too, then.
Yeah, we went praying. And
You went
if
praying?
every time... Well, you don't have to sound that surprised about it, but yes, I went praying.
Huh? Well, there's a first thing for everything, I guess, but okay.
Rude.
Oh, I'm
Rude. You don't know my life.
I actually know quite a lot about your life.
You
I was
think you know a lot.
Bitch, I watched you throw up Chinese food into the sink.
More or less. I held back your hair.
It's built for
Horns.
food. Thank you very much.
So,
At least it would be excellent food, but okay. Yeah, I went praying, and I liked it a lot. And I was planning on doing it more, but now not anymore because Hephe is dead. Anyway, I think we should go forward.
I will say we were already on guard, but wasn't that vision why we had to fight Abushis?
I don't know.
Perhaps investigate the second floor and then continue on.
Or perhaps continue on. Have
This
you
is a
thought about
vote
that?
thing? I mean, I suppose I'd prefer us to look at that second floor and make sure we're not going to have anything following us.
Or miss valuable information.
That too.
But Hephe, what you
You
think?
said Hephe!
But Decky, what happened in that vision you had?
Really, I don't remember it that well. We went to a pool of health, then we went to a cave with a lot of centaur faces, then we went through it, which was hard to do, and then we ended up here. If I looks at DM.
I'd say because the Decorm would be able to recognize it's not specifically here, but a location very much like it.
Similar. And after that, Hephe continued, but I went out of the dream. Right?
Yeah.
Then-
You'd first try to go upstairs, and when that happened, you were forced out of the dream, and Hephe decided to instead go downstairs.
Yeah, we went through a boulder together. And then you got pushed out.
And that boulder should... And this was right after the boulder, right?
Yeah, in a similar area to this.
Hephe went that way. That's all I know.
Perhaps searching these other chambers can give more insight into what you couldn't see before.
True, but perhaps not.
You won't know unless you look.
I don't think but maybe not is a very good argument. I mean, should we take an official vote? Something?
No, we'll be going to the second floor. Follow me.
I'm still
I
capturing
make my way to the second
ritual
floor.
casting detect magic on the bottom floor because you said, "Look at that." I'm like, "Well, it looks like stone to me. So let's see if there's magic about."
Can I can I recognize what he's doing?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'll say, "Oh, hey, you don't need to do that. I've got a thing for that." And I pull out my little owl or my glasses, and I put on the weird glasses, and I say, and I tap like the side of it. You hear a soft, and my mind starts, and I say, "There, now I can see everything. What did you want to inspect?"
Well, I'll be that. That is really cool. I guess just any magics?
Let me check. What do I see?
Make a perception check, and could you post detect magic in the chat?
Yeah,
real quick?
Sure. I need to find it first up. Thank you.
Federation instance.
A perception check, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna do another flash of genius on that. I'll be like, this isn't working, right? Oh, wait a second. And I put it off my head and I tweak one of the sides a bit with a little screwdriver and I put it back on my head and I'm like, and poof, and you actually see the color change this time.
Okay. So that makes it a 16 then?
Yeah.
Okay. The hallway itself is though it is very intricately carved and very beautiful, it is kind of boring in that there isn't a lot of ways to go except forward until it kind of in a very slow recess goes downwards. And as you get there, Teak, you get a vague ping from somewhere down in the distance. Yeah, I'd say you'd have to kind of you'd be like halfway through the recesses actually, as you notice a bit of magical. I'd say it's probably abjuration magic. As you notice in the distance, from your perspective, you see after the recess it opens back up into a bit of a larger chamber. And then that larger chamber is mostly also very intricately carved, except that the wall on the opposite side of you is just seems just like normal cave as it were. And therein there is a short, difficult to see, but you know which because of the detect magic's limit, it's a very short tunnel to a to something that has been enchanted with abjuration magic.
So I only see the abjuration magic slightly further down the road, which is enchanted. Okay. Does it?
It's also, does the rest follow Teak as she kind of starts moving around and look for magic?
I would, most definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Decorm is coming up the stairs for the second floor.
The moment I spot the abjuration magic thing, I halt and I say, "Oh, there's something down there. Could be the source of the fire. I'm not sure. It's abjuration based in any case." And I say that more to Galrok.
Okay.
I say to Azri, down or up? We
I
can't
heard down or up, and then
we
you
can't
cut out.
let him go on his own, but we can't leave them here.
You go up, I say down.
Good. And I go and I follow after Decorum.
Okay.
We're
Don't
splitting
you
the party.
know
Oh,
you
Fluke-
never
Fluke's
I mean,
Sorry.
we're not
split the
splitting the party entirely, I would hope. We're just kind of,
different floors.
yeah, not like actually adventuring down either of these paths. It's just,
Fluke, which way are you going?
I suppose he'd probably follow after Porcelain to just in case things go wrong.
Okay. In that case, Ezra,
Yes.
as you follow Teak and Galrok,
Galrok.
Galrok,
He's a rocky gal.
you when you enter the second chamber, as it were, you recognize it from what Hephe described. You notice that the road the path you come from is like a middle path, and then to your right there are two paths, one going up, one going down, and to your left the same. You know that going down the left path, I believe, from your perspective now, would have been the road that Hephe took before.
Gotcha. I will actually say that part. I think the left side's the one that Hephe took. If they hear me.
No, that they are there,
To
so
Teak.
I imagine.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, like they may just be in their own world looking at magic-y stuff.
That's true.
Is that a different direction than where the abjuration is coming from?
Yeah. The abjuration is basically coming from actually the kind of opposite side of you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say, with Eshe pointing the other ways out, I'd say that Teak would probably also take a look there, I imagine.
Yeah.
And you notice that the hallway downwards, it is completely filled with a combination of illusion and conjuration magic.
Okay.
And you notice that even with your dark vision, you can't see very far into it as the illusion magic, as it were, takes over.
Yeah. I say, I don't know, it looks pretty enchanted to me. I mean, it might, but that's no ordinary darkness.
Advanced darkness.
This is advanced. Ah.
Thank you.
Someone is trying to not make us see anything beyond there. Someone or something. I'm not sure.
well, perhaps the voice that we heard talking about on the second floor will know more. Should we join the rest of the group and look down that path?
I think we should.
I take like I look over my shoulder towards the unknown abjuration.
Yeah.
And I kind of sigh and then I follow the rest.
I'll respond to the sigh. I know, but it's better to learn what others know first than it is to figure it out firsthand and, well, you know what happened to the rest of our group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's stick together. That's the most important thing.
Then I'd like I don't know who did it last times, but anyone who hasn't rolled the D8 yet to roll a D8.
Okay.
It was me and Quinn last time.
Yes, there's only there's only one needed.
Oh.
Only one D8 needed. My fault. Okay.
DM telling us lies.
Yeah, I noticed while I was thinking about it that I didn't say it very clearly. And that's... Sorry, I'm preparing a map, and the first person I put down was Hephe, and I was like, no, that's not right. What's your marching order?
You said Hephe.
Well, I went up first after Decorum, so he went up with Lady Licky, then it's me, and then who's next?
Luke was trailing behind, followed you, so, and then the rest of the group was behind him after a little bit.
I think Azri would probably be in front of them, kind of, because she turned around quicker to get up there. Like, are we ready to go up and rejoin the party?
That left us.
I wouldn't say left you. You guys would be within 20 feet of me, but you know
No,
that's
the party
also half
that
my-
left us is what I was saying.
Oh, I was like, I didn't leave you.
Teak would be pretty
We
much
just
in the back, but
split the
maybe
party.
not completely in the back.
Don't you know?
You never.
They don't know, apparently.
Okay.
You wanted to go to the second floor. I went to the second floor. You left.
You left us! We were on the bottom floor! You said check this shit out! We checked this shit out, and then you went up. While we were checking it out, you went up to the second floor! What do you want from us?
I led badly.
Yes.
We are in agreement.
Party that died due to miscommunications.
That's every party.
Don't you know? You never talk in the party. All right.
Okay. I'd like Decorm, Fluke, and Porcelain to make a perception check.
Yes, sir. Oof.
Perception, he said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perceptionly saying Lee.
Perception.
Ooh. That's good for decorum standards.
Yeah.
Yeah. The three of you travel inwards, and I'd say all of you do definitely still notice that while traveling, when you look, like sometimes when you find like a hallway or something and you look deeper into that hallway, you can see lights moving and traveling, but wherever you walk, wherever you come across, the lights are always stationary. And as you travel onwards, you find that there are lots of different staircases going up. And sometimes there's a hole going down. So you do note that at least the staircase going up, always it seems someone has purposefully made sure that the trapdoor that's above those staircases has always been blocked or somehow disabled, or maybe you climb up one and you're just in this empty room with no other entrance or points than the trapdoor. So, as you travel a bit further ahead, you come across this like larger bit of open room, and let's put you on that layer.
Ooh, we're going on layers.
Yeah. No, come on. Give me my background. Oh, there you are. Okay, thank you.
You know what that means.
We're in a maze.
Pokemon battle music, go!
Exactly.
Not on the
So-
overworld anymore.
As you're looking around, Fluke, you do notice the same thing as Ezra noted before. Porcelain, I wouldn't per se say it slips your mind, but even if you knowing that it is there and trying to look for it, you can't see, but the shadows on the wall still sometimes move as the lights get close or if you get close. And oh wait, it's probably now very dark for Flip and everything, right? Because they don't have a token on the thing.
Yeah, it's just black for us.
Okay. Afraid you're just gonna have to deal with it for a moment.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing as if we're looking at the other map, right?
Yeah.
Not seeing is the same as not seeing.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe just for stream's sake I can keep Flip on the other map actually. Just to not have stream be literally just a black void. But as the three of you are entering this opening, you start hearing this low growling and humming. Also, you did come from this route here. Actually, I'll put you over there, just so you can bit more of a choice of where to go as well. But this is the route you came from. That's on the gem layer. This is the route you came from. And from this hallway, you hear this low, kind of like humming or zooming noise. And from this location, I'd say only Fluke would be able to hear this, but there's this very light, it almost sounds like a very big cat that's sleeping or purring. And that's what you hear.
Going to whisper just like, room to the right of us, the one that's wider rather than long hallway. Hear a very light purring. You're better off going that direction first. If it's something hostile, maybe get it to jump on it while it's asleep. That loud humming. Disturb that, I think whatever's in the corner room's going to come running after.
We're best off if we wait for the others.
Also fair. How about we back off into that corner and basically just tell them to quietly follow.
I'm going to
Venable.
bring out Elvira, and I'm going to tell her to go down, go do some echolocation down this hallway.
Okay.
'Cause we haven't been there before, right?
No.
Okay.
Make a perception check for Elvira.
All right. 1, 2. Thank God for 2.
20. Elvira flies further into the cave. It is much more of an area than before, now that there's no water around. And she does note that it's mostly just a straight line further. It's actually interesting to see how Roll20 decides to what you get to see and whatnot. Okay. And about, well, let's just measure that actually. Yeah. About 120 feet in, there is this splitting in paths. And when she looks around, there seems to be, if you're going down there, then it would be to the left of you, seems to be a larger opening similar to the one you're next to right now. To the right of you, there also seems to be an opening, a bit smaller, but also an opening. I would actually say she probably, with echolocation, notices that the opening on the right side is much more empty and does have a couple of sets of ladders, but the one that's empty. And the one on the left side, she notices that there is a larger structure that would be difficult for her to define well, but She would probably describe it as like large stones very precisely placed together. And she does notice also there is a small desk with a candle on it.
Ooh, can she tell if it's lit?
She can, and she knows that it is lit.
It is lit. And I whisper down to them, someone's here.
Did we try and talk to them?
Not without the others. Have they caught up to us yet?
Yeah,
moment.
Fluke would have just sent Vivi out to fly up and just like follow. As long as they were a decent bit away from the hall we were at, just call, just like follow quietly, and then just fly back.
Let's say about 5 minutes or so later. Love Lady Vivi there, Lady Licky there. The rest of you also appear. So I'll put Flip back into the rest of the group. You're on the top left of the map.
Cool.
I have a good feeling about this way.
Did you just ping the way that he said there was a big ol' giant sleeping creature?
Yes.
DM, would my detect magic still be up?
No.
Okay, because it stays up for 10 minutes? You said about 5
Yeah,
minutes?
it'd be. Yeah, in them waiting for you.
Ah, okay.
But like from the start of like investigating that first chamber to here, I'd say the 10 minutes are about done.
Okay. Bad. What's up?
Well, we've learned we're not alone. Someone is here, and something is in that chamber. And I point over to where Decorm is probably creeping towards.
I'll start sending my book that way to go check it out.
Okay.
If it's sleeping, it probably won't wake up to a dim glow of the book. And it has dark vision of 60 feet and it only glows 10 feet radius, so it wouldn't even need. It could get close. They could see it before. So send my book that way. If it sees anything,
Make a perception check for your book.
making a perception check for my book. 17.
How far also are you sending your book?
Well, it can go up to 300 feet, but it has dark vision for 60 feet. So up until I can see it, or it's too far away.
Okay. When it enters the opening of this room, it notices that there are two creatures in this room. At this point, hiding from you. They don't seem to immediately react to the book, and they seem to be very focused on the group of you, or at least on this opening as it were.
Okay, what kind of creatures do they seem like?
Oh yeah, you can just see through the book, right?
Yeah, I can see through the book, yeah. No action required.
Then you notice that these are the ones that attacked you before were black abashi, these are white abashi.
Oh boy,
Oh.
more Bashi.
Those ones are
Okay.
worse, aren't they? The worst of the two.
I mean, I don't know. They're a little
Depends, they have
modded.
different abilities, but
Yeah.
And
they do have a breath thing.
So there's two of them hiding, and they're looking at the entrance.
Yeah.
Was I able to notice what the sleeping thing is?
You don't see anything sleeping in this room. With a 17 perception, I'd say you do manage to, knowing that it is there, you do listen for it, and you figure that it's probably coming from further in the cave.
Can I make an intelligence check if we make fighting here? If we think that the noise would travel, if we're able to hear it sleeping, do you think that can I make the idea that it would hear us fighting?
Make
Probably.
a straight intelligence check.
Great intelligence check. The fact that I can't see it, but I can still hear it, makes me think that it's an incredibly loud sleeper. But who knows? Intelligence check. That's gonna be 10.
With a 10, you figure it's probably gonna hear you, or at least note you. You've met these people for not very long, but they do seem very loud.
Okay. So I'm gonna whisper to Teak and Asri. There seem to be 2 white abashi waiting on the other side of the entrance. I'm pretty sure if we fight them, the sleeping thing will wake up and know that we're here.
Are we afraid of the sleeping thing? She's because you said you whisper that towards us. So I'm going to try to connect to Decorm and say, right around that corner are 2 abashi. I would back up real quick.
Now I'm gonna move my book into, I guess, down this path, and see if I see any monsters this way, other abashi waiting, or this path right here.
Yeah. Make another perception check.
Okay.
Wish Floop knew about this because he has thoughts.
That's a 6.
With a 6, you go there, and you also notice the kind of light of the candle that's been lit, and that immediately attracts your attention, so you go there. And as you do so, at first your attention is focused on the candle, but as you enter the room, actually, to the left of you, there's this hum and this glow, and that attracts your attention even more. And as you look at it, you see this large, it seems dormant, but this large ritual site has been set up for some form of magical spell. You don't know exactly what it's going to do, but you'd have to kind of look it over as well.
Can I roll an Arcana check on it?
Can I assist you with that?
But I'm gonna say no on the assist, but you can roll Arcana because
I can see through the book.
Yeah.
And if I'm focusing on it, right?
Oh, you're still
Yeah.
with the book. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normal Arcana check. Let's go. 18.
Once above average roll on the thing.
I'll take it.
The effects, what it's going to do, you're not really sure. It seems like similar to the magic of the spirits that you saw before, that it's just weird and unlike any other magic as how it's been practiced in this day and age. But you do recognize the setup, as it were, in that it is some form of blood sacrifice that will activate the ritual. And as you're looking at it, it's a pretty hefty ritual, as it were. This is gonna, in your estimation, kill at least 2 people before it's getting out of its dormant state.
So it looks like a trap.
Less a trap and more something a cultist would like force a person they've kidnapped into.
Okay. I'll let them know that too. That down there is does not look safe or friendly, and there's definitely some cult stuff going on.
Do you reckon it might be what the person who was calling us wanted us here for?
Well, if Hephe was better than most, I don't think he'd be consorting with demons in their ilk.
No, I mean as the sacrifices.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite. The fact that he was better than most people be a reason they wanted to sacrifice him.
And maybe because of his connection with Pool of Health?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. Like, the fact of the matter is, and she's gonna say to Decorm, probably gonna be trying to take 2 of us to be a blood sacrifice if you go around that corner. Just fair warning.
So, if I understand correctly, sorry, if I understand, wait, is this in your head?
Yes, this is my head.
Well, if I understand correctly, there are 2 of those white fuckers over there, and a blood sacrifice over there. So I suggest we go down the hallway. Doesn't sound like there's a friendly wizard here waiting who's tormented by ghosts.
I suggest we go back downstairs.
Exactly.
Wait, do you want to go back down the stairs or back down the hallway? I'm sorry, Decorum.
That back down the stairs to go down the hallway.
And not interact with the wizard that called us here?
The wizard with the blood ritual? No.
Perfect.
I'm good. I already did that once. Not on my top list of
This
things
way,
I've done.
just so I make sure I'm
Got some
understanding.
nice
This way is
boots,
the way.
but
This
I
way's
wanna
back
go
home.
here.
Yeah,
I
I'm
wanna
saying
go
this
here.
way is. I understand. I'm just making sure this is the way with both the blood sacrificed and the creatures, correct?
No.
This
Creatures,
is the
Okay.
blood sacrifice.
Yeah.
Home.
Gotcha. I mean, that's why I wanted to make sure that those were 2. For some reason, I thought that the creatures and the blood sacrifice were down the same hallway. I was like, it sounds like we just avoid that hallway.
No, 2 different hallways. 2 different. This is the entrance, and that's an entrance.
Oh, I can't see what you see.
Oh yeah, you can only see the lower and upper bits of it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I see.
But
That-
yeah,
yeah.
here there's a way, and like here there's a way.
Gotcha. Okay. We'll put it up for a vote then. Does anyone even want to bother going down any of the hallways? Or just go back the way we
I
came?
remember my book of grudges where I want to kill Abashi.
Admittedly, if we try and kill the Abashi, look like they're mindlessly programmed, so don't know if they'll bother us until we enter the room. I will say, if we do, we should probably try and do it as quietly as possible, so I probably won't do my extra sonic damage when I attack.
Perhaps we can lure them.
Well, how he described it, it sounds like they're basically programmed to attack people who come through that door, and I guess the magic book thing didn't count.
It's not really a person, is it?
Yes, I think they're basically mindless drones.
Maybe it just responds to humanoids?
Looks at Lady Licky, Chonkers, and all of our familiars. Maybe we should go back down the stairs.
Alright, let's go then. I don't think anyone's in favor of going through, right?
I'm feeling of killing Abushis, but I just think we should definitely be prepared and come at it with a plan.
Yeah.
My concern is that we wake up whatever is sleeping, and that might be much worse than those other Abashi.
Alrighty. Since it does sound like all of you are in agreement to go to the other side.
Flee!
I mean, it's fair, right? You don't know exactly what's happening everywhere, so...
The
no
Might be
point
back to that
immediately
now
jumping into an
later,
encounter.
For now, we managed to find a way to not automatically get Abushis attacking us, so it's like, well, now we can deal with that when we want to.
Yep.
But, why don't I suggest we end it here?
Okay, works for me.
I can agree to that. It sounds like no, we were about to have an encounter and then we decided nope, no, not today.
You know,
We
I
may.
was also going to end it if it was an encounter because it's getting fairly
Yeah,
late. So.
That's fair, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, on that note, bye stream.
Bye.
Bye, Strip.
Bye-bye.
Bye! See you next year!
Bye,
So-
bitches.